Do you love yourself? Hi, I'm Scarlett Classic, and welcome to Classic Advice, a mental health podcast that is guidance for resilient souls anchoring calm amid the chaos. Do you love yourself? Loving ourselves is so incredibly vital for our mental health. So very important and fundamental, foundational, purely vital. If you didn't love yourself, why would you work on your mental health at all? Right? And I think sometimes we can be quite self-destructive, and it comes from a place of not truly loving ourselves, not feeling like we're worth it, or that we're deserving of it, or that we're just purely enough for who we are, just as we are. And then when we feel like that, we can sink into behaviors that are self-destructive and that are not good for us. And we do them even though we know they're not good for us. That is why truly loving yourself is so incredibly important. Because when we learn to accept ourselves, faults and all, then we get the courage to start working on the things that we need to work on. Because the truth is, none of us are perfect. All of us have flaws. All of us have things that we need to work on and get better at and do better. Myself, I am not very good at handling my emotions. I'm getting better. I'm trying to be very self-aware of them so that when they happen, I don't just push them down anymore. Because that was my go-to. So when I had a very tough week this week. So when the emotions started to rise, I had to really check myself and let myself feel. And that goes for our kids too. My kid was having a tough week. And one of the things that I told him was, the way that you're feeling right now, don't try to avoid those feelings. Don't try to push them down or push them away. Let yourself sit in these ugly emotions, because it's important for us to let ourselves feel that. And then when we let ourselves sit in that grossness and whatnot, then we can, it's a form of processing them, and then we can move on from them. And when I was not doing that, when I was just pushing it down and ignoring it, I wasn't really loving myself in that moment, because I wasn't letting myself feel. And we need to let ourselves feel. We need to accept, how do I word this? Part of loving yourself is accepting the parts of us that are not pretty to look at. What are the parts of you that you'd rather not look at? The dark side of the moon, so to speak. The side of us that we don't like other people to see, because we're not proud of it. And nor should we be. When we mess up, we shouldn't. Those are not proud moments. Don't get me wrong here. But we need to accept ourselves for who we are, and that means every part of who we are. And then the ugly parts, the parts of us that we're not proud of, then we work on them. because we love ourselves and we tell ourselves that we are amazing the way that we are. Do we need work? Yes. And because we're amazing, we know we can handle it. We know we can do it. And we strive to be better. Whatever that means for you. It could be substance abuse. It could be not letting yourself feel feelings and then getting depressed or getting really angry because you have all of these bottled up emotions. It could be that you're terrible with your finances and you spend money when you know you shouldn't. It could be self-destructive behavior of eating too much or not exercising because you feel worthless. And then by eating too much and not exercising and then looking in the mirror, you realize, oh, I don't love myself. Or you maybe don't verbalize it like that. You don't like what you see when after you just raise your voice at your kids and then you look in the mirror and you never wanted to ever do that. Or you had the substance abuse, or you smoked the cigarette, or you did whatever it is that is self-destructive to you, or you spent the money when you really knew you shouldn't have done that. It's the self-destructiveness because you're trying to cope and you just don't know how. Don't know how. That's what's tough. When we have a really tough week, sometimes we just purely don't know what to do. So then we fall into these self-destructive things. But the thing is those things are not loving us in the moment. And in order to love anybody else, we first need to turn inward and love ourselves first enough to do the hard work to stop whatever self-destructive behavior it is that we're doing. Whatever that means for you. If it means going to meetings, if it means doing some hard inner work so that you actually feel your feelings. If it means dealing with all those emotions so you're no longer an angry person. If it means learning how to manage your finances or asking for help or whatever it may be so that you can cope in a healthy way. And when your hard weeks hit, I've said this before in my social media posts, the reasons why I have turned this into a daily podcast is because we need to be working on our mental health every day. So I want to be here for you guys every day. And when we work on things every single day, then when the hard weeks hit, we can have our cry sessions. We can feel the feelings. And we can love ourselves when we're in those really hard moments. And reach out to people when we're having a hard time. And we can be there for our kids when they're going through a really tough week. And tell them that it's okay, that everybody makes mistakes. Because that's just it. You tell your kids that everybody makes mistakes. When's the last time you told yourself that? It's okay, Scarlett. It's okay, listener. Everyone makes mistakes. It's what we do moving forward that matters and that will make a difference. Are you going to go right and just keep going down the path that you're going on and nothing will change? Or are you going to turn left this time? Left goes uphill though. Left's a little harder, but the view when you get to the top, that view's amazing. I encourage you to turn left. And I will be here for you every day to help you get there. Thank you. Thank you for tuning into Classic Advice, guidance for resilient souls. May you stay anchored in what steadies you, rise resilient through what challenges you, and carry calm into whatever comes next. Until tomorrow, take care. Love ya.